And now, your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Okay, jokes are over. We're going over all the results of Crown Jewel. We'll talk about what happened and where I think things are going. No Jeff today. First of all, he's living the life of a Seattle Mariners fan. And if you're following baseball, they're pretty damn good. So I think he might have been watching late last night. No, just kidding. He's on that comedy tour and doing his thing, and he will be back next week. We hope. We hope. We hope. All right, guys. So what do we have here? What did we have here? We had John Cena. First of all, it's weird. Like, Roman Reigns has to open shows or close shows. He's too big a star to be anywhere in the middle, which is weird to me. Like, when you're that big a star, that you can't be placed in certain places on the pay-per-view because you're too awesome. And that's Roman Reigns. But anyway, we're going to see how we did with our predictions. A sick prediction from our producer, Alex, by the way. Just unreal, and we'll get to that later. But here we go. Also, a little bit of news. And this is bittersweet news, but sweet just because they were wrestlers that I love. TNA's pay-per-view Bound for Glory, the Hardy Boys had a match against Bubba and Devon Dudley, the Dudley Boys. For our young listeners, these guys, along with Edge and Christian, revolutionized tag team wrestling and made it so much cooler than it had ever been before, and created matches that had never been seen before, and stunts that where guys are jumping off ladders into people hanging on briefcases or titles. Like, it's some of the coolest matches I've ever seen. Anyway, they wrestled, and the Hardys, they beat the Dudley Boys' asses. They got their asses beat too, but they won. Bubba and Devon hung up the boots, man. They retired. They had some incredible matches in the early 2000s. Will just never be forgotten. And they won't be forgotten. Devon still does a lot with the company. I got to work with him on a show on A&E where all we did was talk wrestling. Bubba's always out there. He has a great podcast that people love. And so they'll always be involved. Like Jeff says, they never leave. They never leave. But they hung up the boots. Their final match. Congrats to those guys, and keep partying on to the Hardy Boys. Keep rocking. And WWE Crown Jewel 2025. Here we go. The first match, we open the show with Roman Reigns, because his match and his story isn't the most important in WWE right now. So he doesn't get to close the show, but he's Roman Reigns. So he opens the show, and the crowd does their cheer, their chant, Roman Reigns, Roman. I wish they'd do something where like they had to bleep it out, where they'd be like, Roman fucking Reigns. They have to bleep it out every single time because they freak out with language. All the violence and blood is fine, but no naughty words, you guys. No naughty words. They can smooch, they can do all kinds of stuff, but you can't drop F-bombs. Another conversation for another day. Anyway, it was an Australian street fight. Bronson Reed came in there looking great. That's one of Jeff's favorites. He sees big things for him. This show sees big things for him. And apparently the company sees big things for him, because the winner was Bronson Reed. And here's how it went down. That son of a bitch, Braun Breaker, came out and interfered in the match, because you know how the Vision operates. And Roman Reigns was going to spear Bronson Reed. He did the whole, ooh, ah. And then he sees Bronson Reed climb up on the ring apron, and he jumps up, whoop-pow, Superman punch. And then Bronson Reed like recovers. He's like, okay, my big ass head just shook off the concussion that I got. Pick your ass up on my shoulders. I'm put you through this table. And I turn around, and all of a sudden, here comes Jey Uso to save the day. The Usos came out to help because of Braun Breaker's cheating ass. Then they came out there fighting. Jey Uso goes to spear Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed ducks out of the way. Oh, shit. And he hits Roman Reigns, his cousin, his tribal or former tribal chief, now just his cousin. And he puts him through a table. Then he gets beat down, and Bronson Reed wins the match with this big old typhoon. It's called the tsunami, not the typhoon, the tsunami. And he wins this damn match, and he beats Roman Reigns, and nobody beats Roman Reigns. Maybe in a tag match, and he's not the one that takes the fall, but his team loses. But he barely ever loses matches. So this is a huge freaking win for the Vision. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman. But even bigger for Bronson Reed to go over a top dude like this means he's ready to go after a top dude, of which there are only two. One being Cody Rhodes, and the other being Seth freaking, oh, maybe that's where we dropped the F-bomb. We'll get to the Seth match. He cut a promo after the match. By the way, post-match promos are always the best promos because they're out of gas. They're winded. They're not thinking as much about what they're going to say because they're so friggin' tired, and it just comes out naturally and awesome. And the whole crowd said his name, and if you guys said Seth F-bomb Rollins, that would be pretty sweet. I'm just saying. I'd be very grateful. I'd shout you out. I'd sacrifice a goat in your family's name to bring you wealth and health and anything else that rhymes with that. But yeah, so you guys should curse. Take over the show. Anyway, after the match was the coolest part. And this was just for the TV audience. Nobody in Perth got to enjoy this. They just saw Roman, Jimmy, and Jay in the middle of the ring talking. But unless you were ringside, you can't really hear what's going on. So all of us in the rest of the world got it. Ha-ha, international show. That's what you get. We all got to enjoy this amazing moment where Roman goes full on babyface because he literally is saying things like, yo, people don't think I can accomplish shit without you. I have to do this on my own. I told you that. I'm doing this by myself. Why did you come out here? Man, we got your back. I know you've got my back. I love you. Look at me, Jay. I love you. But y'all fucked up. And the crowd starts going, you fucked up. You fucked up. I don't want to see you guys till Christmas. I love you, but I don't want to see your ass till Christmas. And he rolls out of the ring. And he's coughing during it because he's still selling the spear that his cousin hit him with, Jay. And he's walking out of the ring, and the brothers are kind of pissed. The twins are pissed. They're like, yo, man, we're just trying to help. And he's like, I told you, man. This only works one way, meaning I'm assuming when he was a tribal chief with Heyman and they were all, following the orders and following the plan, but this wasn't an organized thing. They just came out to save him. And so I think he's talking about organization, not just we're following our emotions. Like, no, we have to have a plan. And the twins are kind of pissed. And the whole time I'm siding with Roman. I'm like, yeah, man, you guys fucked up. The crowd's siding with Roman. They're saying it. You blew it, Jay. You blew it. And he told you not to come out there. He told you that. If you told him not to come out, you'd expect him to listen. So they're pissed off at him. And I'm like, yo, who you pissed at, bro? Be pissed at yourself. You cost him the match. So where does this go? I don't see a match between Roman and Jay, at least not yet, because I don't think it's there yet. I don't think he wants to fight him, and I don't think they want to fight him. And I don't know how much an audience wants to see that fight yet. But I do think it offers an opportunity for Jay to start thinking more for himself, thinking a bit more selfishly, a bit more heelish, which is good and bad. I don't know what you do with the yeet because the crowd loves it and loves Jay so much. But Jay's in a tough spot right now emotionally. I don't mean like professionally. He's doing freaking great. He's killing it. As we called it on this show a long ass time ago. But now he's like, yo, dude, I'm pissing this guy off when I'm just trying to help him. I can go two ways. I can self-punish and be like, God, I'm so freaking stupid, man. Why'd I screw up? Or I can push that off on him and be like, yo, screw you, man. I tried to help. You're not the tribal chief anymore. You're Roman Reigns. You're my cousin. And if I see my family in trouble, that's your ass. I don't know which way he's going to go, but he seems to be the one with the most story. The wrestler with the most to lose in this situation is, of course, Roman, because Roman wrestles for world championships. And because of all the distractions going on right now with the Vision and now with his own family, he can't get back on track. He can't go after that title. There's no room for him up there right now. There's other people there. He has to deal with this. He has to deal with Bronson. He's probably going to have to deal with Braun. He doesn't even get to deal with Seth because he's dealing with these assholes. And what if he does have to deal with his family? What if he does have to deal with Jey Uso? There's no room for him at the top right now, and he's not used to being at the top. But he damn well wants to do it the right way. And he wants to show people that he can stand on his own 2 feet, that he's a man, and he doesn't need a Paul Heyman. And he doesn't need a Jey Uso or a Jimmy Uso or a Solo Sikoa or anybody. He doesn't need to be the tribal chief. He just needs to be Roman Reigns, and that's his story. Pretty good match, by the way. We didn't even get to talk about it. Here are the predictions. Jeff picked Bronson Reed. And a lot of you, I think, did too. I think a lot of you guys saw it. Alex and I didn't see it because Roman Reigns never loses. But he damn sure lost tonight. But not his fault. Not his fault. But he lost and we got it wrong. And I lost you guys a lot of money. And for that, I apologize. But next up, we made you money on this one. I feel like this was the easiest match of the night to call. And by the way, in WWE, y'all ain't doing very many matches, man. With the amount of wrestling you're putting on TV, you could afford at least one more pay-per-view match on there and add a little bit of time to it. It's not like you're on a time restraint or anything like that. You give us another 10-minute match, like a mid-card match. You could squeeze in more than 5. I think we only got 5 matches, man. Tiffany Stratton, one of the women's champions, and Stephanie Vaquer, the other women's champion, wrestled for the ugliest championship in professional wrestling, and that's the Crown Jewel Championship, you guys. The biggest belt ever made. It's a belt so big, it would look big on George Foreman. It would look big on John Jones. It would look big on whatever big dude you know. It would look big on Bronson Reed. Like that, it would actually fit around his waist. The ring is dope. It's grown on me. I didn't like it the first year, but it's kind of cool now. It looked good on Vaquer. Anyway, Vaquer wins the match. We all picked her to win. And we said on this show, she's going to have a rocket ship, and we explained why. Wrestling is smart, wants to get into the Latino market more. They've invested a lot of resources, television time, storyline, and now championships on Latinos to try and capture that market the same way the NFL's trying to do it this year with friggin' Bad Bunny. Everybody knows there's over $1 billion there spent on consumer products, like just people buying shit. Over $1 billion a year from, I think it's way more than that, by the way, from the Latino community. And they want a piece of that. They want advertisers to be like, oh, yeah, we want our logo in your ring. And yeah, we want this, we want that, because we want a piece of that market too, because they all want money. The good news is Stephanie Vaquer happens to be one of the baddest wrestlers on earth right now. She's awesome. She's awesome in the ring. It's not like, it doesn't feel like a forced push. It doesn't feel false. It's not someone where we're like, you're going to ever hear a "you can't wrestle" chant. Like, she's unique in her look. She's unique in her presentation, rather. She's unique in her wrestling set and the skill set that she uses. Everything about her's cool. She's not a Barbie doll. She's just cool. Like, her style's cool. Her energy and vibe is just cool. And I just want to have a beer with her. Like, I just think she's a badass chick. And her finish is amazing. It's not a good name. I don't know it's just generic. It's called like here's a corkscrew moonsault. It should have some awesome name to it, but I'm the asshole that can't think of one either, so screw me. But anyway, Tiffany Stratton went for the prettiest moonsault ever. Stephanie wasn't there. She climbed up the turnbuckle and she did the same move that she beat Io Sky with, and it looks so cool and it hits so nice. She wins, and Triple H comes out and he puts that big-ass belt around her waist that she's like holding in one hand while he's raising her other, because it probably weighs like 60 pounds. And Stephanie Vaquer is the Crown Jewel champ and the women's world champ, one of 2 women's world champions. It will be a disputed championship. Don't forget, because Naomi didn't lose the belt. When she comes back from having her bebe, she'll have a rightful claim to be the number 1 contender because she wasn't pinned in the ring, and she didn't give up in the ring. So disputed, but still awesome for Stephanie Vaquer. I know Booker T's happier than everybody. Shout out to Booker T. We all picked Stephanie to win, if I didn't say that already. Match 3. Maybe this was the easiest one to pick. Yeah, because there's a lot of Stratton love out there still. This was the easiest one to pick. Here we go. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, in a tag team match in Australia. You think Rhea Ripley's going to lose a tag match in Australia? Maybe a championship after she's, won it like 2 or 3 more times. And then she could lose there. But no, she's not going to lose a tag match in Australia. The crowd would be so bummed for no reason for a match that doesn't mean shit. Like, the crowd would literally just be like, what? All right. Thanks for this match. Anyway, this was a match about friendships, new friendships, and friendships that have been destroyed between the Kabuki Warriors, and this new friendship and respect between Rhea and Io. They kept Rhea out of the match forever. She finally came in on a double tag, and the crowd goes freaking bananas. The post-show Australian crowd was rowdy, too, when Rhea was doing her interview. I won't get into it, but you should watch it because they were rowdy, boy. Of course, Io and Ripley win. Io with the blind moonsault, which was awesome. That's who we picked. So we made you money. So we're 2 for 3. Don't forget it. Here comes match number 4. John Cena versus AJ Styles. The winner was John Cena. Submission victory with the STFU or whatever he calls it. The STF, I guess. You can't say STFU because that implies something else. An F word. Again, we got to bring F words back. We got to bring them back. Anyway, John Cena won. The opening of this match was awesome. The introductions, rather. John Cena had like a note of respect and honor for AJ Styles, where he basically says, quote, "The definition of total nonstop action. The ace and total boss of the Bullet Club. It is my honor as an opponent to see if he can." You get it. He loves the guy. And they had a great match. It was another tribute match from Cena. I don't know if this is going to be the theme throughout. He did everyone's finisher in this one, so I think he might be all out of tribute matches to do. But it was really cool, man. It hit him with everything from an RKO to a skull-crushing finale to Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail, and he smooched him. There were so many shout-outs, man. And he shouted out Edge in the last one. Like, it's kind of cool, man. I could get it if people were like, man, I'm sick of seeing that. I get that. I get that. But I'm older. I'm almost 50. So it's really nostalgic. And it's all the dudes that I came up going like, man, these guys are pretty cool. So for me, I dig it. But I get it if people are like, come on, man. If you do one more guy's finisher, we riot. That would be a funny sign, by the way. So anyway, Styles, he doesn't lose anything, man. This match was about John. And Styles will have his final run whenever he decides enough is enough and can get a cool storyline in there. And they can easily boost him up with a couple good wins to have him in a title picture for one last, story, if that's the way they want to do it. Or there's plenty of wrestlers that are like, yeah, I'll lose to AJ Styles to prop him up for his final story. Like basically everyone on the roster would line up for that because they respect him and love him. And maybe not everyone. I don't know if there's bad blood, but everything I've ever heard is he's super respected in the locker room. And I could see people going like, yeah, bro, I got you. Anyway, Jeff picked AJ Styles. He's not trying to make you money. And I'd say that to his face if he was here. He's trying to take your money. Alex and I are trying to make you money. And that's why we picked John Cena, because we know what's up. We knew he was due for a win. And Alex, our producer, not only predicted the finish, he predicted post-finish antics. He predicted the big hug and the handshake and the raising of the arm. And then the other raising of the arm. He predicted what they were going to eat for dinner after the match, which was prime rib with mashed potatoes and gravy, and John Cena had a salmon salad. I don't know how he predicted all this, but he did. They posted it online later, their dinners. They're both big foodies. That's all they post, really, so you guys should follow them both online. If you guys believe any of that, you're suckers. All right, final match. Seth freaking Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Cody, sorry. For the Men's Crown Jewel Championship, once again, the ugliest belt in professional wrestling. Good God in heaven. Sorry. This match was awesome. Seth Rollins wins the match. He finally gets a win over Cody Rhodes. Cody whipped your ass with a torn pectoral muscle, buddy. He whipped you with one arm and one titty, and you still lost. You know how bad that would hurt your pride, your ego, especially if you're a bad guy? So he needed this win, and he gave him the old double stompy stomp. He stomped him once. That wasn't enough, so he climbed up on the second turnbuckle, jumped off of there, and stomped Cody's ass again. And he got to that point by punching Cody in the face with the very watch that Cody gave him for being such a good dude. He's like, yeah, here's your present, you son of a bitch. Bow! Busted him right in the head. It was awesome. This match was awesome. I don't know what's next for these guys. I can tell you what I hope happens with Seth. Cody's going to be harder. Let's talk Seth first. It's not going to be Dominic Mysterio. He hasn't lost the IC belt yet. LA Knight's got a lot of beef. And a good reason to have beef. So he could be a potential next challenger. But how cool would it be? Because we've already seen dissension in the Vision, but in a weird alpha way, because it's three alphas, right? Like early on, they had a promo where Braun Breaker straight took the mic from Seth and was like, I got something to say. You better listen. And Seth didn't even get hurt about it. He was just like, yo, all right, talk your shit. Could we see Braun Breaker go after Seth? I don't know, man. Well, we'll find out, because Monday Night Raw happened while we were recording this show. And yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out together. I don't know. I was going to say maybe Bronson, but I don't believe it now. That's Crown Jewel. I don't think Seth Rollins loses before WrestleMania. I think he's just going to steamroll these pay-per-views. CM Punk, again? Everybody loves CM Punk. All the fans do. All the fans love CM Punk. So maybe he's in the mix? I don't know. But now it's time, not for a commercial, but for a smooth transition. Nah, this is a great time for a commercial. And we'll be right back. All right, guys, now that WWE's Crown Jewel is in the books, we shift to All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan's toy box. And we go to WrestleDream 2025. It's going to be on Saturday, October 18th in St. Louis, Missouri, the same city that Randy Orton hit me with a modified backbreaker. You bastard. Never forgive you. Don't forgive and forget either. Never forgive, never forget. Unless you hit your head, you might forget some shit. All right, here's the card we know so far, how we got there, and what it all means. First up, great freaking match. We're going to talk about the best match first, and it's going to be Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship. And the promo, there'll be another one maybe, but the last promo, the one building up to it, was fucking awesome. And Hangman has changed his presentation or his promo presentation from when I first started watching AEW, and it's getting much more natural, and he's not just yelling the whole time, because when you yell, your voice gets high, you get out of breath. Now he's much more deliberate with a lot of what he's saying, and then he gives himself, and this is good advice for all wrestlers in a promo, give yourself somewhere to go, because if you start too high or too hot, you can't top it without it starting to sound weaker. Your voice will get too high and tight, and it doesn't sound like a tough guy, I mean, it could sound like a whiny heel. If that's who your character is, then by all means do that. But if you're just a badass heel or you're a babyface, like, give yourself somewhere to go. And he totally did that. And Samoa Joe listens to this whole promo and he's like, look, man, I don't give a fuck about anything you just said, whether it's true, but here's what's going to happen. I'm going to bust your ass. I'm going to torture you. I'm going to kill your ass in there. That old speech you hear the crowd chanting all the time, Joe is going to kill you. Yeah, that's real. I'm going to kill your ass and take the championship. You've never beaten me. And Hangman Page isn't having it. They're going to go at it. I don't think the Ops is going to interfere at all. I think it's going to be one-on-one. The Ops aren't really like that. They come at you if you come at them. They very rarely shoot first. But this match is going to be friggin' awesome. Our producer picks Hangman Page to retain his championship, and so do I. I think this is going to be a great match. I think Adam Hangman Page is going to get the shit kicked out of him, but I think at the very end he'll pull it out and he'll get him with the buckshot, and he's going to get the W. And a big ass hawk just flew by my window, like we have red-tailed hawks in Southern California, and it was so close that I could see the red feathers on the tail. Man, that was crazy. Anyway, biggest match for AEW on the pay-per-view, highest stakes, biggest title, two of their biggest stars, one of their best mic workers in Joe, and Hangman's a really good champion. So awesome match. I look forward to it. Jeff's not here, so he doesn't get to pick. Haha. Which means you save money. You just save money, baby, because Jeff's not here to get it wrong. I just saved you all money. Even when you lose, you win. Next match. Chris Statlander, the champ, versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. Statlander won this title at All Out in a 4-way match, but she did pin the champion, which rarely happens. Usually the champ loses it because someone else got pinned in a triple threat or a 4-way. But in this case, they flipped the script on us, and Toni actually took the loss and was like, yo, I just took an L. Like, what the fuck? And was like really tripping her out. And she's kind of changed her persona. It's been evolving over the last couple pay-per-views into different incantations of like famous old school actresses and old school Hollywood. I miss old school Hollywood. New school Hollywood kind of sucks. I don't mean to bitch and moan. I'm just throwing that out there for you guys. Anyway, moving on. So Storm challenged her afterwards to a singles match to truly see who the better woman is. I feel like Jeff would pick Toni Storm on this one. Our producer picks Chris Statlander to retain. It would be so weird. The booking would be so weird if Toni lost in a 4-way and then just took it right back in a 1-on-1. Doesn't really give Toni anywhere to go, and you're kind of just fucking over Statlander, right? Whereas if Toni loses, it's, yo, I have to evolve. I have to make a change. Because I just lost straight up in a fair fight to this girl. No interference. I don't think there's going to be any interference. What the hell? What do I have to do? If there is interference, then that will be what Toni has to deal with next. But I predict Statlander wins as well. And they give the girl a chance to run with it and see if anybody can pull more out of her. And if she can pull more out of someone else worthy enough to beat her, we'll see. Match 3. Darby Allin versus John Moxley in an I Quit match. Holy shit. Could you imagine John Moxley saying I quit to Darby Allin? Just think about that. Seriously, like how over would Darby Allin be? I'll tell you right now, Darby Allin's not saying I quit. He's not. So the match is either a draw or they are going to somehow figure out how to make John Moxley quit. Like maybe he's afraid of spiders or snakes. And Darby's like, yo, I got a boa constrictor from my man Jake the Snake, and I know you're terrified. I'm going to wrap him around your neck, or I don't know, maybe he's, afraid of the dark or some shit. But Darby Allin's crazy. Didn't he climb Mount Everest? Didn't he climb a mountain or some shit? Climb Mount Fuji? Or Yote? How do you say it? What's that new video game? The samurai one? Ghosts of Yote? Or is it Yotai? I wish I spoke Japanese. I don't think Darby's losing this match. I really don't. Here's what our producer thinks. First of all, he described the match as legal murder, which it will look like. I agree with that. But he picks Darby at the end of the day. He thinks he's going to, just now reading his prediction, he's going to hang him upside down from the St. Louis Arch. That will be the only possible way to make Moxley quit, is if he hangs him from their state monument or city's monument. I don't know. It's a monument, and it's a great one, and I've seen it. That's hysterical to me. So yeah, I have Darby winning as well. Jeff's going to go with Darby. We're going to give Jeff a dub. He always gets the L's. Next up, Okada and Takeshita. The new Japan, I think IWGP new heavyweight champion. I think I saw that online. The new heavyweight champion over in Japan. He just won another title. So congratulations to Takeshita. Versus Brodito. That's Brody King and Bandito, for those of you who don't know Brodito. In a tag match eliminator, tag matches, do tag matches need stories? Or can you just kind of party? I mean, this has a little bit of one. They won what they called a double jeopardy eliminator match versus Brodito, but the story was in the ring more than there. I don't feel like tag matches need stories as much. When they do, it's gravy. I don't know why. I wish I knew why. I don't think that I shouldn't just say stuff without giving you a reason. But yeah, that's what you get today. Anyway, if they win, could lead to an AEW Tag Team Championship opportunity, but there's a lot of tension between Okada and Takeshita. And eventually, these two have to beef. And they have to beef for Okada's titles, which I'm now convinced he's not dropping to anyone but to Takeshita. Try saying that 5 times fast. Say it 2 times fast. I dare you. But that's going to be who he loses the title to. And when they put on that match, that will be the match of that pay-per-view, period. End of story. Nobody else will come close. That will be insane. But it's not time for that yet, I don't think. So I think there's still going to be tension. Maybe somebody makes a mistake or something that's deemed a mistake, even if it's not, by the other partner. Don Callis is going to have a lot to deal with because right now he's like, hey, man, the 2 studs, man, sometimes studs butt heads, but eventually it's gonna blow up. Keshida can be a great babyface, I think, in wrestling, and I think he will end up being the babyface in this because Okada's too good a heel. So yeah. So I've got Brodito. I've got Brodito winning. Next match. The Jurassic Express. They're back, baby. They're back. Versus the Young Bucks. And this is for $500,000. The Young Bucks need this bad because my man lost all their money in the casino the last time that they had any cash on them. They need the money bad, but their story has been Sisyphus since they lost that match and lost their executive vice. I almost said vice principal. Since they almost lost their EVPs. I like vice principal more anyway. Sisyphus, if you don't know the story, is Greek mythology. You can look it up if you want. It's SIS. He was cursed to roll this giant boulder up this mountain. And if he gets it to the top, the curse is broken. But the curse is no matter at what point on the mountain, at some point on the mountain, he's going to stumble and the boulder rolls all the way back to the bottom for eternity. Don't piss off the Greek gods. They've got a sick sense of humor. And Greek mythology rules, by the way. You guys should check it out. Anyway, I think that's what they're destined for a little while longer. And I've got the Jurassic Express winning $500K. And you can get my man some new Luchasaurus gear if you want with $500K. You get Jack a sweet leather jacket if you wanted to for $500K. I mean, a real sweet one. They only get $250K a piece. Remember that. And don't forget Uncle Sam, agents, managers. At the end of the day, that's about 48% of all that money gone. So they only going to get about $125K each. So it's not that much. Downer. Moving on. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony versus Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP. Here's the buildup. They've been getting story. They've been getting a story on AEW. And this started a long-ass time ago when MVP handed Ricochet a card and was like, yo, you might want to be a part of the Hurt Syndicate. And Ricochet was like, man, I don't know. I'm kind of a babyface. Maybe. And then like a week later, he's like, I rescind my offer. Boom, you're out, bitch. And Ricochet's like, yo, why are you going to call me a bitch? And he's like, because I did. And they've had beef ever since. And that beef expanded to the point where Ricochet got some backup in the Gates of Agony, and they cost the Hurt Syndicate the tag team titles, and now they got serious beef. It's revenge on both sides. Who's right, who's wrong, we don't know, we don't care, but they're going to wrestle. It's a grudge match. Might be tension in one of the two groups. I don't think so, but there's got to be a winner eventually in this. They can't just fight forever. And our producer picks the Hurt Syndicate to get payback. As much as I love you, Ricochet, thank you for doing the show. I got to go with my man Alex on this one. Bobby Lashley's going to bust your ass. Normally, I always root for the guests, but I got to make people money. This is a pick. So I'm rooting for you, but I'm picking against you because we're here to make the people money, and I'm picking the Hurt Syndicate as well. Next up, Jamie Hayter versus Tekla, spelled Thekla. Sound like Mike Tyson trying to say Tekla. Don't beat me up, Mike. So Jamie Hayter hasn't gotten a ton of story since she's gotten back. Before she got hurt, she was in a great story for the Women's Championship for a match that led up to, I think, in Wembley Stadium, I think it was, or the O, one of those. This is a couple years ago. So this match is more about establishing top dogs in the division, getting someone ready to make a title run, much more than it is about anything else. It's, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. Let's see who's better, bitch. All right, I'm going to whip your ass. And here we go. It's Jamie Hayter. That's who's winning this match. She's going to hit her with the big clothesline. She's going to put her down, and she's going to move on to bigger and better things. And Tekla, she'll get her opportunity when it comes, but it's not going to be in this match. There could be some more matches. There usually are. AEW gives bigger pay-per-views than WWE, but we record this before Wednesday, so I don't know if there's going to be any more. So bet safely, bet securely. Don't bet more than you're willing to spend on dinner and a good night out. That's the truth, by the way. I'm not even trying to be funny. Never bet more than you're willing to spend on a good night out, or you'll hate yourself, and then you'll try to double up, and it turns into a sick cycle, and that's addiction, my friends. All right, guys, I love y'all. Hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy the wrestling. Enjoy WrestleDream. Enjoy Dynamite. Enjoy Friday Night SmackDown. And enjoy, or I hope you enjoyed, Monday Night Raw from Australia. I'll speak to y'all next week on Wrestling with Freddie and Unsanctioned Thursdays. Thanks for listening. Leave us your comments. Leave us reviews. And that's it. Peace.